Okay, this is test 1 review. There are 30 questions, so I'm going to do this question here. Question number 1. Find a counterexample to show that the following statement is false. If a number is multiplied by itself, the result is even. But if you multiply 5 by 5, it's not even, it's odd. This is the counterexample. Okay. Find a counterexample. Again, the sum of the two 7-digit number is a 8-digit number. So we have to come up with the two 7-digit number whose sum is 8-digit. So let's say it's an even digit number. Oh, we would like to find the sum of the two 7-digit number is a 8-digit number. Find a counterexample to show that the following statement is false. Is a 7-digit number. So okay, so let's say you have 7-digit number 1 1, okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and again 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So it is actually 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So when we added two 7-digit number, it's still 7-digit. So we can use any examples. I'm using here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7-digit, and I can just do, let's say, 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 7-digit. I can add any two 7-digit number whose sum is not 8-digit. It's still 7-digit. Remember, you can have any example. Here I tried two same number, but it's not always two same number. You can use, this is just a counter example. There are many counter examples here. Identify a pattern. So 5 goes to -2 goes to -9. So as you can see here, from 5 to -2 you are subtracting 7, and from -2 to -9 you are subtracting 7. So you're just subtracting 7. If you subtract 7 from -23, it would be -30. So that's the pattern I can see. One more time, identify pattern and find the next number. 8 goes to -4, -4 goes to 2, 2 goes to -1, and what comes next? Okay, so what is the pattern here? 8 goes to -4, and 4 goes to 2. So the pattern is, as you can see here, the pattern is not addition or subtraction, but it's a division. If you divide 8 by -2, and that comes from the ratio, just look at the difference or the ratio between two numbers. So if I divide 8 by -4, that gives me -2. If I divide -4 by +2, which is also -2, and then if I divide 2 by -1, that is also -2, meaning the common ratio is -2. So you just have to divide the number by -2. So if I divide -1 by -2 to get the next number, it would be half. Okay, so it would be half, -half, sorry. -half or +half, let me see. It's a +half. So common ratio is -2. If you divide any number by -2, you get the next number. Okay, find the pattern. The triangular arrangement of the number is given here. That's called Pascal triangle. So how it's going? If you there is a 1 1 1. If you add this 1 and 1, it gives you 2. If you add 2 and 1, you always start with the 1 and 1. The first digit and last digit is always 1, and to get the second digit you just have to add, so you just have to add, if you just have to look at the above row, and you just add, like 4 plus 1 is 5. The next one is 4 plus 6, which is 10. Next one is 6 plus 4, again 10. Next one is 4 plus 1, 5. So you just add the first digit, and the first number and the last number is always 1. To fill out these boxes, you just have to add the second one with the first one, and third one with the second one, and keep going like that. Okay, estimate the product by rounding the numbers so that the resulting arithmetic can easily be performed. So 20.12, I can estimate that as a 20, and 2.5 is close to 3, so 20 times 3 is 60. This is just the estimation, and the actual product you can always find by using calculator. You have to do that. 20.12 times 2.5, that's 50.3, and this estimation is the difference between the estimation and actual value is less than 10. If the value is less than 10 or less, then that's called reasonably close according to the instruction we have given. Okay, divide 89.87 by 4.9. We would like to use the estimation. 89.87 is actually 90, right? So that's the estimation. And then 4.9 is actually close to 5. So our job is to just divide 90 by 5, which is 18. So the estimation is 18. Actual division can be performed using the calculator. So 89.87 divide by 4.9, and that's 18.34, 3 decimal places, it's 18.341, because after 0 there is a 8, so 18.341. One more time, let's check. It's 18.34, and then there is a 0, but after 0 there is a 8, so you have to round it to the next number. And then as you can see here, this is very close to 18. How reasonable is your estimation? Okay, it's a reasonable. The estimate seems a little lower compared to the actual number. The estimate seems a little higher. It's a little lower, but it's reasonable. Okay, let's go to the next problem. One more time, it's estimation. Determine the following estimate without using a calculator. Then use a calculator to perform the computation necessary to obtain an exact answer. Okay, so estimate the total cost of 6 grocery items if their prices are 7.43, 2.16, 2.01, 12.48. So estimate the total cost. Just estimate. The first one is 7. If you estimate, then 7 plus the next number is 2 because it's less than 2.5, plus next number is again 2, plus the next number is 12 because it's less than 0.5, so it's a 12. Next number is 12 again because it's 11.56. It's greater than or equal to 5, so it goes to the next number, plus this is also 12. So the total is 47. What is the actual value? The actual value, you can just calculate this. You can just add all this number again. 7.43 plus 2.16 plus 2.01 plus 12.48. You have to make sure that you're typing the right number. 11.56 plus 11.64. If you add all these 5 numbers, it is 47.28. 47.28, and they are very, very close. So the estimate is little lower than actual value, and the difference is, as you can see, it's a 0.28, because if you subtract 47 from the actual number, that gives you the difference. Let's go to the next number. Okay, let's go to next question, question number 9, which is a problem solving. As you can see here, in 1 month you rent 4 new movies and 6 other movies from option B. So 4 new movies, as you can see here, there are 3 different options. Option A, rent premium movies, rent non-premium movies. Option B, rent new movies watching online, rent other movies for an average price. Option C, unlimited streaming watching online, $9.99 per month plus membership fee $12.99. So would you have spent more or less with option C? Let's look at the option C, unlimited streaming watching online $9.99 plus membership fee $12.99. So option C cost $12.99 plus $9.99. So total from option C is $12.99 plus $9.99. That would be the total cost for watching unlimited movies in a month, which is $22.98. $22.98. And from option B, if you rent 4 new movies, which is $2.99 each times 4, that would be the cost $11.96 plus 6 other movies, which is $2.49 per movie. 2.49 times 6, that would be 14.94 plus, this is the 6 new movies plus 4, this is for 6 other movies, and then 4 new movies from option B is total is 26.9. Option C would cost 22.98, but option B would cost 26.99. So the difference is 22.98. So the option C costs $3.92 less. $3.92 less. From option C, it costs less than option B. Okay, calculator were purchased at $75 per dozen. So 12 calculator cost $75 and sold at $20 for 3 calculator. What is the profit? Remember, in dozen there are 12 calculator. So if you sell 3 calculator for 20, so there are 4 times 3. So because you have 12 calculator, 12 divided by 4 is 3 calculator, sorry. It's 12 divided by 3 is 4 of $20, because each 3 calculator costs $20. So there are 4 of them, because there are 12 of them. So 3, 3, 3, 4 groups. So 4 times 20 is $80. And then purchase price was 75. So the profit is difference, which is 80 minus 75, which is $5. What happened? Let me try one more time. Calculator were purchased at 75 per dozen and sold at $20 for 3 calculator. So what is the profit on 6 dozen calculator? Sorry, it's I did not read the question completely. This is the profit for 1 dozen. So 6 dozen means 6 times 5 is 30. My bad. Okay, that's the reason you have to read the question complete. Okay, I was not reading the question. Jo decided to ride her bike from her home to visit her friend Josh. 3 miles away from home, her bike got a flat tire and she had to walk the remaining 4 miles to Josh's home. She could not repair the tire and had to walk all the way back home. How many more miles did Jo walk than she rode? Okay, so the total, so the bike was, as you can see here, let's go and make the picture here. Jo decided to ride her bike from home 3 miles away from home. So this is the home. and 3 miles away from home, 3 miles, the tire puncture, and then from that point her bike got a flat tire and she had to walk the remaining 4 miles to Josh's home. This is the Josh home, which is remaining 4 miles. She could not repair the tire and had to walk all the way back home. How many more miles did Joe walk than she rode? She rode 3 miles, she walked 4 miles, and plus she came back 7 miles. So total 4 miles plus 7 miles. Remember, this is bike riding, leftover walking, and coming back is also walking. So 7 plus 4 is 11 miles walking and 3 miles riding. So the difference would be 11 minus 3 is 8 miles. So Joe walked 8 miles more than she rode. An automobile purchased for $37,000 is worth $2,200 after 6 years. Assume that car's value depreciated steadily from year to year. What was it worth at the end of the third year? Okay, so it's this is the problem solving. So as you can see here, it's supposed to be linear. So what we can do, we need to find out the rate of change. So initially the price was 37,000 and it went down to 2,200. So after 6 years, so average depreciation can be found 37,000 minus 2,200. That's the difference divided by 6. That's average depreciation. So after 3 years, whatever number you get, average depreciation per year, times it by 3. So I'm going to subtract 2,200 from 37,000 and divide that by 6, and that's the average depreciation per year. And according to the question, it depreciates 5,800 per year. So times 3, so it will be depreciated 70,400 in 3 years. So original price was 37,000. 37,000 minus 1,700. I don't have that number, so I'm supposed to write down that number. I don't remember that. One more time, 37,000 minus 2,200 divided by 6. That's a 5,800. So I'm supposed to write down that number. That's the average depreciation, and 5,800 times 3 would be 17,400 depreciation in 3 years. So after 3 years, the value would be 37,000 minus this depreciation, which is 17,400. So the value would be 19,600. 19,600. That would be the price after 3 years. Let's go to the next problem. The next problem is okay, as you can see here, this is the magic square. If you add any rows or any column, even the diagonal, you're supposed to have same sum. So as you can add 16, 6, 17 and 28, this sum supposed to be equal to this sum. Okay, and this sum supposed to be equal this sum or this sum. So we can only solve for one unknown every single time. So let's do that. So look at here, the sum of 3 number is 6 plus 17 plus 28, that's 51. So if you add first row, which is 6 plus 16 plus a, that's supposed to be 51. So if you subtract 6 and 16 from that total, that will give you the value of a. The value of a is 29. Okay, and let's go further. After finding the a, remember the middle column has to be 51 again. So you already have a, which is 29. You have 17. To find the e, again you have to subtract 29 and 17 from 51. You cannot find b and c because both of them are missing. Oh no, you can find C. So E is, remember, remember here, a plus 17 plus E is 51, which is the sum of this diagonal. But A, we already found that's 29, 17 plus E. So to find the E, you have to add this number and subtract from 51. So E would be 51 minus, if you add this two number, that would be 46. So 51 minus 46 is 5. So the value of E is 5. Similarly, you can find C. You just have to subtract 16 and 28 from 51. That is the total. 51 minus 16 and 28. So that would be 7. C is 7. So after finding the C, you can find the B, because B plus 17 plus C is supposed to be 51 again. So just subtract 17 from 51, and then C is 7. C is 7. So the B is 27. B is 27. What about the D? Now we know B and 6. So again, D, to find the D, subtract B from 51, which is 27, and then subtract the 6. I'm doing the math on the first column. So subtract 6, which is 18. So 51 minus 6 minus 27 is 18. So these are the value we can find by just looking the given values. Find the greatest common divisor of the numbers. So the greatest common divisor, to find the greatest common divisor, you have to find the factors first. So let's go here and find the factors of 105 and 30. Prime factor. So 105. So you can find the factor of 3. This is not divisible by 2, but it's divisible by 3. 3 times 3, 3 times 5. So this is the prime factor. This is not divisible by 3, it's divisible by 5. 5 times 7. So the factors of 105 are 3, 5, and 7. And what about the 30? 30, it's a 2 times 15. So this is the prime factor. 3 times 5, these are the prime factor. So these are the factors of 30, which is 2 times 3 times 5. So greatest common factor would be, just look at here and take the common factor. 3 is here, 3 is here, so you just take one of the 3. 5 is here, 5 is here, so you just take one of the 5. And rest, you don't take them. So 15 is the greatest common factor for 105 and 30. So 15 is the greatest common factor. So the meaning is 15 is the greatest number which can be used to divide 105 and 30 both. That's the greatest common factor. Two people are jogging around a circular track in the same direction. One person can go completely around the track in 21 minutes. The second person takes 45 minutes. If they both start running in the same place at the same time, how long will it take them to be together at the same place if they continue to run? Remember, this is also greatest common factor problem. Let me just so one more time, this problem is not greatest common factor. This is actually the least common multiple. So this is different than greatest common factor, because when they are going to meet, you need to find out a number which is divisible by both of these numbers. So they are running in a circle. So one person start running, both of them start running same point, and one person can complete this rotation in 45 minutes. Another person complete this rotation in 21 minutes. So one is faster than another one. To find out when both of them are at the same place, you need to find the least common multiple, because least common multiple means find the time when both of them are at the same place, find the time when both of these number can be used to divide that time. Okay, so least common multiple, it's a little different than greatest common factor. You need to find the factors of 21, which is 3 and 7, and 45, which is 3, 15, and then 3 times 5. So these are the factor. You start with the same way, the way we did greatest common factor, but the least common multiple means first you take the common multiple, 3 and 3 common, so you just copy one of them, and then rest, they are not common, but you need to copy all of them. 3 from here, it's gone. 5 from here, it's gone. 7 from here, it's gone. So now you multiply this, 3 times 3 times 5 times 7, so which is let's say 3 times 3 times 5 times 7, that's 315 minutes. After 315 minutes, both of them will be at the same position, because 315 is divided by 315 is the least number which can be divided by both 21 and 45. So we can answer this question by finding the least common multiple. You have to be careful when you answer this type of question. Sometimes it's a greatest common factor, but sometimes it's a least common multiple. A middle-aged man observed that his present age was a prime number. He also noticed that the number of years in which his age would again be prime number was equal to the number of years ago in which his age was prime. How old is the man? So you need to find out, how do you answer this question? To answer this question, let's say we know the middle-aged man whose age at this point is prime number. Okay, so this question needs a little bit of thinking, problem solving. Here it says the middle-aged man. So first of all, we have to know middle-aged could be, any age between 40 to 65. So we are looking for a prime number between 40 to 65. There are a bunch of prime number between 40 to 65. Let's look at. I'm going to find out the prime number between 40 to 60. Let's say I'm going to use Gemini here. Give me, let's say, give me prime between 40 to 65. So the possible answer, because it's a middle-aged, the possible answer could be 41, 43, 47, 53, 59, and 61. So these are the options. Okay, so when we solve this type of problem, we always have to look at the options. So these are the options here. And now let's go back and look at the problem. The middle-aged man observed that his present age was a prime number. So his present age, let's say this is the prime number. Present age is the prime number. Let's say P is his age. He also noticed that number of years in which his age would be again prime number was equal to the number of years in which his age was prime number. So the difference between his future age, future age, and then past age, future and past, both of them are prime. So let's say this is F and this is because I already used the P here, let's say this is T, just for the past. Difference between future minus present and then present minus past, they are same. So if you try to just bring this, add T here and then add P both side, then you are going to get future plus the past age is 2 times the present age. So present age is supposed to be future plus past divided by 2. So now we go back to our possible option. we need to find out, for what number, it gives you this one is that this equation, this relation would be true. So if I say, let's say, okay, if his present age is if you go back here and look at the option, like let's say his present is 43, the next difference is 4 years, but the previous difference is just 2 years. But if you take 53, the next prime number is 59, which is 6-year difference, and then the past prime number is 47, which is also 6-year difference. So 53 is supposed to be the right answer. Remember, this type of problem is not very trivial. You have to think about the problem and you have to collect all the information before you try to solve. There is no one way to solve this type of problem. Okay, use the order of operation. Here there is a parenthesis and then there is a -2. So do the operation inside the parenthesis. -6 times 2 is -12. So it would be -5. -2 times -6 is +12, and that is +7. So if you use the order of operation, that will be your answer. Let's go to the next problem. Again, do the operation inside the parenthesis. -4, -7 is -11. Multiply that by -2. So that would be +22 plus 6 is 28. Use the order of operation. So we do the division first and then multiplication and the exponent, which is 4. So here you can see we do the exponents first, which is 25, because 5 square is 25, minus 12 divided by 2 square is 4 times 3 minus 16. So after that we do division. 4 divided by 12 is 3 times 3 minus 16, and then 3 minus 3 times 3 is 9 minus 16, and that is 0 because 9 plus 16 is 25. 25 minus 25 is 0. Exponent first and then division and then multiplication and then addition and subtraction. One more time, we do the operation inside the parenthesis, which is -2 and negative positive. 38 plus 2 is 40. Absolute value of 40 is 40. 40 times 6 is 240. So we do the operation inside the parenthesis and then inside the absolute value. A mountain is 15,177 feet above the sea level and the valley is 138 feet below the sea level. So one is positive, one is negative. Let's say here is the sea level, this is the sea level. Anything up is positive number, anything down is the negative number. So mountain is 15,177 and then the valley is -138. What is the difference? The difference can be found by subtracting this -138 from 15,177. So this is how you do. You type 15,177 minus, and then your number is again minus what is that? 138. Sorry about that. It's a 15,177 minus 138. So this minus and minus becomes plus. So actually you are adding. So 15,177 plus 138. That is the difference between these two positions, which is 15,315. 15,315. Okay. Next question, write as a fraction. To write down this type of number as a fraction, you look at the number of position after the decimal, 1 2 3. So it's a 525. Write down 525 and then divide by how many digit after the decimal? 3 digit. So you need to divide 525 by 1000, and you need to also simplify your answer. That's the instruction. So how do you do that? This is actually 5 times 105 divided by 5 times 200. This 5 and 5 cancel out. Still there is a common factor, so keep going. 5 times 2 121. It's a 5 times 40. This is also cancel out. So now you cannot go further because 21 has a 3 times 7 and 40 has a no 3 and 7. So the final simplified answer would be 21 over 40. 21 over 40. Let's go to the next problem, question number 23. Look at the bar graph and answer the question. This is the data for number of excuses. There are different type of excuses, and we need to find out the fraction of the excuses that involves a death in family. As you can see here, death in family is G, which is 10 out of how many? 500. So 10 divided by 500 is our fraction. So remember, we want the answer in fraction or simplified form. So 10 divided by 500. 10 divided by 500. You just cancel the 1 zeros and it would be 1 over 50. They don't want answer in decimal form. So 1 divided by 50. That's the answer. Okay, the list of ingredient for chocolate brownies given at right will make 16 brownies. This is the list that will make the 16 brownies. Use the list to decide how much of each ingredient is needed to make 8 brownies. Remember, 8 means half of the 16, so each of these ingredients you need half of them. So the butter would be half of half, which is 1/4. Okay, chocolate would be half of 2 and a half. So what is half of 2? It's a 1. What is half of half? It's a 1 over. It's a 1 over 4th, because half of half is 1/4. So I just found half of 2 is 1. Half of half is 1/4. The sugar is 1 cup for 16. So half cup for 8. Teaspoon is half of half, which is 1/4 of cup. And egg, half of 2 is 1. And then half of 3/4 is 3/8. You just divide those numbers by half and it will give you the answer for 8 of the brownies. This is question number 25. A franchise is owned by 3 people. The first owns 1/3, the second owns 3/7. And what fraction of the part of the business is owned by the third person? So the total is 1. So from 1, you have to subtract this 1/3 and 3/7. And remember, to subtract the fraction, you have to make the LCD, least common denominator. In this case, it's a 21. So multiply the top one and bottom one by 21. And you also make this denominator 21 by multiplying with the appropriate number. In this case, multiply the second fraction by 7 on the top and bottom. And then third fraction by 3 on the top and bottom. It will give you 21 over 21 minus 7 over 21 and 9 over 21. To subtract a fraction by a number, you have to convert everything as a fraction with the same denominator. And then now you can subtract the top part like this. 7 plus 9 is 16. 21 minus 16 is 5. It's a 5 out of 21 fraction. And this is already simplified. So it's a 5 out of 21 fraction. Let's go to the next problem. A will states that half of the estate is to be divided among relatives. Of the remaining estate, 1/5 goes to charity. And what fraction of estate goes to charity? Remember, half of the estate goes to relative, then half goes to is state. So we need to find out what is the 1/5 of the half. You are just multiplying half and 1/5. What is the 1/5 of the half? It's a 1/5 of half of the remaining, which is 1/10. So what fraction of the estate goes to charity? It's a 1/10, because half, 1/5 of the half is 1/10. Okay, this is a number. We need to write down this as a scientific notation. For the scientific notation, just write down the first digit and then decimal, and then write down the leftover digit. If the leftover digit after a certain number is 0, then you just ignore that and then just type cross 10 to the power after one decimal. So count how many digits you remove: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would be 10 to the power 8. There are 8 digits after the decimal. That's why it's a 10 to the power 8. This is the decimal number, and we would like to write down this as a scientific notation. For that, we start with the 7. That's the number less than 10. And then we put the decimal 0.4. And we have to count how many times we move this decimal to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you just write 10 to the power. This time, because we move to the right side, it will be -6. Okay, this is the second last question. You have the mass of one methane molecule is 2.7 times 10 to the power -23 grams. Find the mass of 80,000 molecules. You just have to multiply this with this. But how do we multiply? We can write down this as a scientific notation as well. We can write down 80,000 as 8 times 10 to the power, how many zeros are there? 4 zeros, times that number 2.7, 10 to the power -23. You multiply 8 and this number, which is 8 times 2.7, which is 21.6, times, for the same base, you just have to do the addition. 4 minus 23, which is 21.6, times 10 to the power -19. And we want our answer in scientific notation. So still it's not scientific notation, because there is a 21 which is greater than 10. So we move this decimal to the 1 place here, and because of that we can add 1 on the exponent here. That will give you -18, because -19 plus 1 is -18. So the answer would be 2.16 times 10 to the power -18. Okay, let's go to the next problem. Explain how to convert from scientific to decimal notation and give an example. To convert a number 8 times 10 to the power n from scientific to decimal, first look at the exponent n. If n is positive, move the decimal point in a to the left n places. If n is negative, move the decimal point in a to the, we want to no, it's a right and it's a left. An example of this would be converting the value this to the, because it's a positive, so you have to move this decimal to the right side 5 times, 1, 2, and there are no more digits, so you have to add extra zeros, which is 3 more zeros. So this would be your answer. Okay, that's your test 1 review.